Making a card box can be used for a wedding, like I'm going to be doing, or you can use it for a graduation party or an anniversary party, and you can match the colors to the theme. This box is 13 by 14 by 12. I took a broken paper that I had, I wrapped it in duct tape, and then I secured it to the bottom of the box. You do not have to do this, but we're having an outside event and you never know how windy it's going to be. Here we're just measuring to get the width and the length of the slit, and I wanted about 3 inches on either side of the slit. Remember, your slit has to be big enough that you can easily slide cards through. Now we're finding the center of the flaps that are on the inside of the box. You won't have as much cutting to do on this flap because these do not shut flush with each other. So just finding the center. I'm starting the cutting on the inside of the flaps, so the inside of the box on those flaps, and I'm doing it about 1 inch wide. Now to the front of the box, just double checking. And you might want to use an X-Acto for this, a little bit easier and more precise than using a scissors, but whatever you feel comfortable with. Before you do any gluing, you're going to measure your fabric and make sure that it goes all the way around your box and that it's a little bit wider on both sides. More prep work here. You're going to lay it out along the slit, feel where that is indented, and then you're going to take your scissors and cut a diagonal line so that you can easily fold it into the slit and under. Put your fabric aside, and now you're going to glue the underneath flaps to the top flaps. Do that on both sides. Then hot glue your fabric to that area, and you'll use it right on the edge too. Be careful, it's very hot. Next step is to use your fabric Mod Podge. Pull your fabric back so you can get in there. I put it on the cardboard first, and after it's all brushed out, a pretty generous amount, then you're going to kind of stretch your fabric and smooth it before you move on to your next side. Flip it. Then I put a little bead of hot glue. First I did not. I used the Mod Podge, but it didn't hold as well. You can see it's starting to ooze down. So I learned that every time I flip the box to put hot glue along that edge and then Mod Podge. And here you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Just to tack that with the hot glue and then Mod Podge, and then you won't lose your fabric stretch that you already did. Much better. Live and learn, right? Share my secrets. Here we got all the way around to that front edge where the slit is. We're just smoothing it out. Then we're going to fold under this fabric piece, the edge, and make almost like a hem would be. And we are going to secure it with hot glue just on this one side. There we go, stretching it across. Making sure that is secure. Time to cut the slits for this side. Corners went a little too far on that one side, but that's okay because we will be adding some trim there, some lace trim, so you won't even see it. Tucking it under. Again, be really careful with that hot glue. We have 2 remaining sides that are not covered, so measure those out first and cut some extra cardboard, and then attach a piece of fabric to that. Put some hot glue there at the corners especially. Now that the fabric is secure, you're going to add more Mod Podge onto this, and then we're going to connect it to the box. Time for embellishment. I decided to roll a wired ribbon right here along the edge, so it cleans up that edge real nicely, makes it secure. Now if you are going to paint, if you decide to paint your box, you could paint it before doing the ribbon. You'll see that I painted after, but it is easier if you don't have to work around your ribbons. I decided to paint because I couldn't get rid of the messy marks of my glue that I had on my table. So I decided to paint over top of that. And of course you can paint over fabric. This paint is leftover house paint, but it does match the wedding party, so I decided to use that. And I love the look. In the end, it looks kind of like suede. But you can do decorative paint on as well. You could paint on the name of the person you're celebrating or the people you're celebrating. You could paint flowers. You could really do whatever you want to it. almost finished. I did find the trim that I used around the slit at a secondhand store. It's beaded, it's really beautiful. I didn't have a whole lot, so I just chose to use it around the slit part. And you can see right around the slit there, it's kind of gaped. I did hot glue that and secure it then later. I didn't show that, but it is more secure in the final piece. And of course you can use smaller brushes if you need to for around the detail of the lace. Again, it would have been smarter had I chose to paint it first. Here it is, all ready. I think it turned out pretty good. See what you can make. Enjoy. Bye.